Hello students, in this session let us solve one more question of torsion. The figure of this question shows a stepped steel shaft. It is subjected to a torque T at the free end and a torque 2T in the opposite direction at the junction of the two sizes. Determine the total angle of twist if the maximum shear stress is limited to 80 megapascal. The modulus of rigidity is given 80 gigapascal. So this is a question of shafts in series where we are given with two parts of a given shaft. One is of 60 mm diameter and other is of 40 mm diameter. The torque applied is one is anti-clockwise at the free end and clockwise of intensity 2T at a section B, that is at a junction. We have to determine the total angle of twist, and it is also given that the maximum shear stress is limited to 80 megapascal and modulus of rigidity is given 80 gigapascal. So let us solve this problem. This is the question of shafts in series. When the shafts are given in series and the torque is applied at different points of the cross section of the shaft, right? So, like this, here it is given that this part of the shaft contains 1 meter length and this part contains 1.5 meter length, and both are of same material, and the modulus of rigidity of the material is given as 80 gigapascal. And this series connection has a torque at different points, as the anti-clockwise torque at C point is T and clockwise torque at B section is 2T, and this is rigidly fixed at this point, and we have to find out the maximum shear stress is also given. The shear stress at which the material will fail is also given. Now we have to find out the total angle of twist for this shaft, right? This is similar to that condition that in our simple stresses, when we apply a force, the total deflection is the deflection in this part plus deflection in this part, right? So solve it. Say this is the part 1, this is part 2, and we have to find out the total deflection in this part, that will be equal to theta 1 plus theta 2, right? You know, in series connection the deflections, angle of twist are added up, right? Angle of twist will be added up. And but what is actually the torque? What actual torque is acting on this one part and what actual torque is acting on two part? We have to break this into two parts to find out these things, right? So break this into two parts. This is first part and this is our first part, like this, and this is second part. This is first body, this is second body, and this is A, B, B, C, A, B and B, C, right? Now what is happening here is this B part is common to the 2 points. The total torque on B should be equal to 2T. So for equilibrium, if here it is anti-clockwise torque at C point, which is not common to any other point, so we can safely apply here anti-clockwise torque T. Here it should be clockwise T. So here a clockwise T torque should be there. So this is clockwise torque T. It is clockwise, this is anti-clockwise, body is in equilibrium, static equilibrium, and no twist is there for the time being, right? And here what is happening is here 2T torque is there at B point, 2T torque is there, and T we have already applied. So there must be one more T clockwise, so that this T plus this T should be equal to 2T, right? So torque on B should be equal to, we have applied torque on B at 1, torque on B at 1, this is clockwise, and plus torque on B at 2, that is clockwise, and both are T, and this should be equal to 2T clockwise, 2T clockwise. So T here already applied plus T here, so this is 2T, so condition is satisfied. T clockwise, that is 2t clockwise. Condition is satisfied, right? So this is t clockwise. If it is t clockwise, here this should be t anti-clockwise, so that equilibrium can be maintained. So this is the torque on each shaft, right? So here at C point this is anti-clockwise, here it is clockwise. Now remember the sign convention. If the torque is tightening the nut, it is taken as positive, and if it is losing the nut, opening the nut, this is negative, right? When looking from this side. So when looking from this side, this is clockwise, so it means it is tightening nut, so it is positive torque. So it is nut tightening. So this is positive. This torque is, it means this torque is positive. The acting on this is positive, right? And this is anti-clockwise, opening the nut, right? So this is nut opening. So this means this torque is negative, and this is positive, right? So this is clockwise at this point, in this direction clockwise, tightening the nut, this is positive, and this is anti-clockwise, opening the nut, this is negative. So we can write theta 1 is positive, theta 2 is negative. So we can write total theta will be equal to theta 1 minus, theta 1 is positive minus theta 2 basically, right? Because negative should come here, so this positive become now negative because of this negative torque, right? And what is theta? You should remember the formula of theta, that is TL upon Gj. So theta will be equal to theta 1 T1 L1 upon G1 J1 minus T2 is negative, that's why it is coming negative here, T2 L2 upon G2 J2. Now torque is not given to us, T1 T2 is unknown. How to find out the torque? We are given with this tau max, maximum shear stress. If maximum shear stress is given to us, we can find out the torque, because we know the relation between maximum shear stress and torque. What is the relation? That T will be equal to pi by 16 tau, which is tau max basically, and d cube. Which d? Here we have two types of section. One is bigger section and another is thinner section, and the chances of stress to take place maximum value is at thinner section, because thinner section may fail first because it has less material. So for safe loading of this stress 80 megapascal, we should consider the 40 millimeter of dia to find out the torque, right? So that's why we can write that torque T will be given by pi by 16 multiplied by tau max is given to us, that is 80 megapascal will become pascal, 80 multiplied by 10 power 6 d cube. D is the diameter. Which dia? Thinner dia. It means D2. We are talking about the thinner dia, D minimum, inner dia, right? D2 means thinner dia. So D2 is, what is D2? That is 40 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 3, because it is meter, it will become meter, to the cube. So T will come out to be, solving it, you will get the value of T as 1005 Newton meter. So this is the torque which is safe to transmit the power to the shaft, right? Now T is known to us now. T1 is torque T and T2 is also torque T in negative direction, right? L is known to us, both G is known to us. G is same material, 80 gigapascal for both. J, polar moment of inertia. Polar moment in inertia is still unknown. So let us first find out the polar moment of inertia. J. What is J? That is pi by 32 d to the power 4. You know the formula for polar moment of inertia, pi by 32 d to the power 4. So J1 will be equal to pi by 32 d1, diameter of 1, that is 60. So 60 multiplied by 10 power minus 3 to the power 4. So from here we can find out J1, polar moment of inertia. Solve it using calculator and find out the polar moment of inertia for this shaft number 1, this part of the shaft, right? Polar moment of inertia, and it will come out to be 1.27 into 10 power minus 6 meter to power 4. So this is J1. Similarly, you can find out J2, that is equal to pi by 32 d to the power 4. So this will be pi by 32. What is D2? That is 40, and the power to the 4. So J2 will come out to be, solve it and you will get the polar moment of inertia of the second part of the shaft, and that will come out to be 2.5 multiply 10 to the power minus 7 meter to the power 4. So this is the another part of this question. Polar moment of inertia of first, polar moment of second. Put this value in this and get the value of theta. So now you can find out the angle of twist theta. So theta will be equal to T1 L1 by G1 J1. T1 torque 1005. So 1005 multiplied by L1. L1 is the length of first part, 1 meter. 1 divided by G, 80 gigapascal. Convert it into Pascal, into J1. J1 is known to as 1.27 into 10 की power minus 6 minus T2. This is 1005 multiplied by L2. L2 is 1.5 meter divided by G. G is same for both the materials. Both are of same material. Minus 9 multiplied by J2. This is J2. That is 2.5 multiply 10 to the power minus 7. Solve it, you will get the value in radian. You can convert that into degrees and find out the value. Solve it and get the value in degrees. So you will get the theta as 0.065 radian, 0.065 radians, or you will get in degrees. You can convert it into degrees, multiplied by pi by 180 by pi, and you will get the answer. So what is the degrees? 3.73 degree. So this is the answer. This is the total angle of twist of this shaft, right? How we have solved this question? We were having a series connection of shafts at which at different sections torque was applied. So we have divided this part into two parts and we have applied the torque obtained. What is the torque applied on both the sections, right? On this part the torque applied is T in positive manner, and on this part torque applied is T but in negative manner. So this is minus T, this is plus T. So based on this, we know the angle of twist is given by angle of twist of first shaft plus angle of twist of second shaft, because it is one is negative. So that's why we have taken here negative, theta 1 minus theta 2. One is positive and another is negative, right? And theta we know TL by GJ. So we have value this, put this value. Now what is torque? We are not given the torque, but we are given the maximum stress in the material. Maximum stress in the material will first achieved by the thinner section, the section which is very small, very thin, right? And thinner section is 40 mm. So maximum stress will be at the 40 mm. So that's why we have to design this based on 40 mm. So torque will be pi by 16 tau max, which is 80 megapascal, and D2 is 40 mm. Put here, you will get the value of torque as 1005 Newton meter. Now everything is known, but polar moment of inertia we have to find out. We have obtained the polar moment of inertia of both the part of the shaft, and then we have put these values here and obtained the total angle of twist.